So I made a boo-boo and I accidentally pressed the stop record button instead of the pause. So, as I was saying, we'll have to let the bottom of the box dry. So it's already dry. It's nice. Now it looks like a stick of gum. You see what I'm saying? Who doesn't like gum? If you don't like gum, then get off my channel. Everybody likes gum. I know. If you don't like gum, there's something wrong with you. Okay, well anyway, you don't eat this, so because that's not sanitary. You don't eat paint. It's not good for you. Okay, well anyways, so back to what I was doing. So this is the box. Again, like I said, we're painting this box. And this looks like a stick of gum. Okay, never mind. Nobody needs to know that. Okay, well anyways, and I'm going to have to be very, very cautious about how I use my brush because apparently it likes to fling everywhere too, and I forgot that I'm a messy artist. But I'm an awesome artist, and I love it, and that's my forte. Art is my forte, and it's my passion. And if you don't like art, I don't know about you, but it's the best damn thing in my life, and I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry, because I love painting and art and drawing and coloring and all that jazz. I like making things and so on and so forth, and you get the idea. And if you want to, you can listen to my music on Rap Chat. Do keep in mind that it is a collaboration. It's not just me who made the music. I made the lyrics and the vocals and so on and so forth, and I collaborated with other artists, and we made some awesome music that you can listen to. So at MisfitMe86 on Rap Chat. If you don't like it, you don't have to like it. It's not for everybody, but I don't know one person that doesn't like music. So let's get started on this box. Okay, so I've already got this dry, so I'm going to do the inside now because I think that worked better the last time, and it'll make it easier to paint the sides when I'm done with the inside of the box. So here we go. Back to, obviously I had to make a second video, so hopefully no more stopping in the middle of a video by accident. So I'm going to move this cursor away from the situation. Back off, boy. Okay, now I'm going to be using, oh, you know what? Okay, so I'm actually going to be using I think I'm going to go in with the same color I did. Actually, I might, let me look. There's cobalt blue I could do for the inside, but I don't want it to be so dark that you can't really tell. I'm not sure about this ultramarine. It still looks blue. I'm probably not going to use that. Actually, let's see here. I'm going to go in with one of my favorite colors. It's cerulean. It was one of the best colors you'll ever find or meet in your life. So I'm going to just get started because that's just how it is. You know, just how it is. Just saying. All right. Okay, and I'm going to have to be cautious, but yes, we are going to be doing some white noise in this video because I just kind of like it like that. This is a great way to help cope also. So we're just going to put these colors to the side as these are the colors I'm going to use for the box, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm just gonna, okay, I think I already opened this, so I'm just gonna do this. a round brush for this. Yeah, so we'll do this. I will be doing a couple coats on this. just to make sure that it's full coverage on there. I like to do a couple coats as I go, and that's just the way I paint. Some people will let their coat dry first. They'll do one coat of one color, and then they'll let it dry, and then they'll do another coat. But this paint dries pretty fast, the ones that I'm using, so I generally don't have to go back and do that every time it dries, because it dries as I go, which actually makes it way easier. To do the coat. Gotta make sure it's got all in the crevices too. So I like to use a round brush because it makes it easier for me. And when I get around in this, like in the corners, you could use a flat brush also if you want, but I find that the round brush works a lot better for me anyway. But it is a preference. It is a preference. Yeah. Every time I have a video, I think about that song and I don't know what it is. This one I might have to go in a couple times, and there because this is a bigger box. Having a hard time with my sciatic nerve. in my head. So you can see, I've got that entire middle covered. I am going to wait on that, and I'm going to go back in later. I think I'm just going to do another coat. But I'm going to let all of this dry completely, just to show you. Of course, most of it's already dry, but it's this bottom part I want to look completely like a deep sea blue, but it's cerulean, so it looks Pacific blue, which is an awesome color. I love it. Okay, so now we'll just go with this. Put a little gray in here. Alright, so now we use pretty much all blue. Just to have some pink heads. I'm not going to use that pink completely. I'm going to go on with the darker pink. I think I'm going to do what I did last time. Let's start with this, the yellow. It's lemon yellow. You can kind of see lemon yellow. Start with about that. Okay. And on this project, you don't have to clean the brush right off. Oh, see, there you go. That's clear. Because it gives it its character. Now this box is not going to be the same exact color as the other one, but it will be close to what it looks like. So if it looks different, that's why. It's going to be its own character. But it'll be the same box, just bigger. That's what I love about this. Like when you do artwork, or art, like I do, you can make it whatever color you want. So it gives it some character. So this one kind of came out like it kind of looks a little bit yellow-green, because when you mix blue and yellow, you get like a yellow-green, depending on how much yellow and how much, just depends. I think I am going to wipe this brush off for this part, because I did want most of it to be like a brighter of a yellow. And of course, I've always got these, the wet wipes, and they work great. Cleaning and whatnot. I'm messing. And it just helps keep the mess at a reduced, it just reduces the mess. So, no more paint, and I'll clean it, so I'll do that. Clean that. Okay. Forward. I'm gonna wipe my brush off a little bit. Kind of working with a little bit smaller space, and I'm not used to working with a small space for this, but it is what it is. Okay, so here we go, getting brave, and you can see it kind of took a green because I had blue on the brush on there, but it's not going to all look green once I'm done with this. So just kind of add some, so if I keep adding like a yellow, it'll have its own little character. I'm going to leave the one side, but you can see the yellow. It goes yellow and then it transitions to like it's green. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of yellow right here. Because I want it to be on the top. So it's going to be bright. And the nice thing about these boxes is they're easy to make. It's my own design. Okay, now I'm going to add in some orange. So there'll be orange. Okay, this is why I did this, so that way I could go in because I need a place to hold on to. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go on the bottom kind of, and I'm gonna do that. So you can see the orange. Okay. So now, so you can see the transition, okay? So now, I'm going to do that on this side too. Give it some character. So as you can tell, so now it's got orange in there, so you can see the different colors. See the pink, the orange, the blue, or the yellow. And yes, you do need to remember that you have to get the crevices. So it's like so you can see it come together. So now I'm going to add a little bit more to this. Satisfied with it, so yeah, it's good. Okay. fuchsia. So it'll be fuchsia. So a very pretty pink. You know, you gotta have the fuchsia in there, because if you don't, then, well, it's not that color for them. I'm kidding. You don't have to have fuchsia, but you can have bright colors at least, and that would be appropriate. Just make sure you don't get your paint all over the top of your cap. You'll want to make sure you have something to just wipe it off on there so it doesn't get, so that way it won't crack. Well, if the paint dries and then you have to peel it off and all that, you don't want to have to do that because it just wastes a lot of time. Down for a second. So I don't want to like smudge anything, so I'm just going to be really careful. Okay, for the most part it's dry on one side, so I think we're alright. And then right here it's dry. Well, actually some of it's not dry. Okay, some of it's not dry, but that's okay, so, because we're going to go on with another coat anyway. Okay, so I'm going to do it this way, like I had it the first time. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my fuchsia. It's really pretty pink. With the tops, like I did. So I like that this box, I like how the colors came out on the first box, so I want to try and get it as bright as I can on this one too, but if it's not so bright, it's alright, it's not going to be the end of the world. But it definitely will look nice, but I'm hoping it's not going to be perfect. But I don't want anything to be perfect, to be honest, because every time I try to perfect anything, it just ends up not being perfect, and, well, I guess that's how it's supposed to be. so this side is got, it's hard to see the colors in here. You can kind of see, it's like a greenish pink. It's I don't know, but it like has that. Okay, now I'm gonna go on this side. Okay, I think I went a little orange on that side. So this one definitely went a little dark. But now you can see the color a little bit better. So, of course, I think I'm going to do something a little bit different for this. Definitely need to this is the part I don't like. Having to rinse the brush. It comes out so clean after. Okay. Let me see. I want to see what this looks like on there. So this fern green, I guess we'll find out. We'll find out. Oh. Okay. I don't think I opened this one. Oh, I actually did open this one. I guess so. Okay, so I'm going to do the green now. Stubborn. Put back in there. Stubborn paint. Okay. drink break. Gotta stay hydrated. So good. Yummy. Okay, now I'm gonna have my coffee. Delicious. These things are just delicious. Coffee delight. I hope you can read it. Coffee delight. So good. And you know what? I'm going to stick this on top of it. I'll be right back. You just listen to this white noise. Okay, I'm back. I like this Smile Bop because it also has different colors. Guess we could do a blue theme. You can turn it off. You can make it darker. Make it lighter. I'm gonna make it darker. It's better. You can see that it's blue, but like the red one, or the red color, it looks orange in certain lighting. So for example, and actually, give me a second, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So it's really dark and you can't really see my face. But this is what I was talking about. You can tell. It's like a darker blue. Well, it's kind of hard to see in this light. It's easier to see in person. Well, here's the pink. Here's the white. Here's the kind of off yellowish white. Here's another, like a light yellow. Maybe a... There's the red, but it looks orange. But it's actually red. It's the creepiest thing. It looks orange in the light. Like, it's the coolest thing ever. And then here's like a yellow-orange, yellow, green. You can even see that. You can see it on my face. Hello. I'm not that creepy. But yeah, there's the blue. That's the bright blue. Here's the darker blue. You can tell the difference. So that's what I was talking about. It's hard to tell the difference in certain lighting, certain lights. It just changes everything. So I'll turn it back on. Okay, now you can see my face. But that's kind of what I like about that. Is it's got the coolest colors. And you can't really see it, but it's better when you see it in the dark. So hopefully, anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's get back to this. So I'm going to do green. Just going to check this. Okay, for the most part, it's dry. And then once we glaze this, you'll see that it shines a lot better. So I'm going to glaze it probably a couple times. but I'm going to go green on this part. Not as bright as I thought it would be. But that's alright. It doesn't need to be bright green. It's bright, I think it's bright enough. It just doesn't look as bright as I thought it would look. But sometimes paint doesn't always look the way you see it in your own mind. Gotta get the crevice. Gotta have full coverage. Oh, and I think last time I put the green on the bottom of these to make it look like it had grass. But no one likes to mow the grass. You can see the green. It kind of looks like a pale green in here. I must be in a weird mood. Putting some pink on this. He's a little character. So now this side, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I'm going to have to mix some colors here. Sorry guys, I'm going to have to do some mixology. the back side so. Okay. Okay. So here's that box. Okay. You can kind of see where it picked up on the colors. Okay, so it's got, I decided to go in a little bit darker for this, but it's going to be bright too at the same time. So it'll have bright colors, but it'll also be dark. So it is darker than the other one. But I decided that's how it would look. Oh, you know what? We clean this one. I'm just going to leave it that way. Okay, but anyways, so you got the look of it. Okay. Boom. So like, at first I called this the eyeball project, but they're not eyeballs. They're just balls with balls. Ball walls. Balls with balls. You get the picture. Don't be lost. This is a clean channel. But anyway, there they are. The stick of gum. Okay. And the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go back in the middle here, since it's dry. And I'm going to put a little bit more blue in there. But I'm going to clean my brush a little bit, because this water got really dark, as you can tell. So I'm going to pause this for a minute. always gotta clean this part. This will be the brush we're going to use for the inside. Okay. So, salmon. With the gun. Okay, we're going to need some more of this. I have a feeling I'm going to have to buy some more of this cereal, but for right now. Can't even romp her. Now. Okay, oh, there we go. Okay. Alright, there. Just make sure, do a little tap tap. This goes going in. Okay, so you can see inside. Oh, that. It's nice. Inside the crevices. Now we're just gonna let this dry a little bit, and then once this is done drying, then we'll put on the glaze. So the glaze, of course, I use this glaze. So clay glaze. You can see it. It's kind of hard to see with the lighting. Clay glaze. Waterproof sealer, craft glue, prevent cracking and scratches. So basically, it prevents cracking and scratches. Now you don't want to put like too many layers of this on. In some cases you can, but it just depends on what you're doing with it. Because if you put too many layers in certain areas, it can crack. I guess we could start putting the glaze on some areas of the box. So as this dries, we'll glaze it as we go. So of course it comes with the beaker, and there, or if you want to call it a measuring cup, and plastic. I'm just going to start with a little bit. That's not even 10 milliliters. So 10 milliliters, I meant to say. Gauge it because some of these are wet. This one's still kind of dry. That one's dry. Okay, so I'm going to start from here. So we'll start on this side. So, but you'll see. Actually, not wet. No, we'll just do the surface. I was going to do the bottom, but now I'm thinking it's going to just go from there. So you don't want to stroke it too hard either. Light strokes because we're just glazing. Goes on the top. Last time I flung this everywhere. But you will see as it comes out. what it looks like. You see how shiny it is? A whole different realm. Definitely gonna need glaze. I don't put too much glaze in the beaker or the measuring cup, because sometimes when you glaze you don't need as much, and then a lot of times people will overthink it. I know I do sometimes. So then I get excess product, and I'm not trying to put excess product back into the glaze. So if I'm going to use glaze, it's going to be exactly the amount that I need on there, so that way I'm not having to go back and refill my glaze container, because you never know, because sometimes paint gets on the brush, sometimes things, you don't want to mix it. It just changes the chemistry, if you know what I mean. But it gives you an idea. So there's that side. Got this. Okay. And I'm going to need more glaze, so I'm going to set this down. Man, it's getting hot in here. So much for hoodie days. A little bit more glaze in there. See, just about that. Don't need a whole lot right away. Okay. Where were we? Okay, so on that side. Okay, so now I'm going to start. Let's do this. I'm going to give that a second to dry. Just a little bit. And take a break. Always make sure you stay hydrated. So once this is dry in certain areas, then we can go ahead and we can flip it on the upside down, and then we can do the rest of that, the box or the glaze on the bottom. And then once it's completely dry, it'll be done. I'll probably carve my artist name into the box at some point. Just of course when it dries, or when it's drying, you don't want to carve anything into it. But then, you know, because I always initial every bit of my pieces, like everything that I do, I initial. Because if it's my artwork, I put my artist stamp on it. And I do share my artwork with people, but they can't claim it as theirs because it's not theirs. Otherwise, it's plagiarism. And it's a big deal. Citing somebody's name and something, making people aware that it's so-and-so's, or whoever the artist is. Or sometimes artists like to collaborate. So you want to make sure that all their names are cited, because that's only fair. And this stuff doesn't really take that long to dry. I mean, it does take a full 24 to 48 hours to fully dry in here. But I found that this stuff dries a little bit faster. So like when I'm painting and stuff, it doesn't come off, is what I'm talking about. So like, see how that's... I already have paint on my hands from before, but if you could see, wait a minute. So you can see, I'm touching this, so like, see, it didn't come off. See what I mean? I already have paint from before, but that's dry. That's different, okay? So let's see, let's check this. Check this out. Just kind of tap, tap. This side's a little wet, so I'm just going to give that I can feel that back into this. So let's see if I can try it. Pick this up from the corners. Let's do this. Now you can see the colors a little bit better. We'll rotate it this way. So as you can see, and then on the inside, so then this has like an orangish purple look to it, kind of like this one. See, this one's a little bit different. You can tell the colors and everything. So this one's a medium-sized box. This one's a small box. This one's medium-sized, and then we'll have probably like a larger size one later. But that's probably not going to be for a while. I thought about it. I thought, hey, stick a gum. It's got its own color. I'm gonna have to add a little bit more paint to this. It did pick up on a little bit of different colors, but that's okay because I was trying to do something different with this box. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna clean my supplies and we'll just let this dry. So I'll be back when the consistency is on. all the brushes are clean. Clean this. Clean the bowl. And there is, you know, you just gotta make sure it's clean. Still got plenty of glaze, so for another project. It goes in there. Of course, painting, it's one of my things. I like to do it. Just like I said, it's nice to have something to do that I love. Alright, well, weird. Oh, I was gonna say, like, why on earth? Actually, I think that really. Sometimes I wonder. I think this one is there, and this one goes here. Yeah. So I try to keep everything organized as much as possible. Well, these ones are kind of hard to clean. Get like a little scrub brush or whatever. Just drying this. Make sure I'm getting paint anywhere. Anyway, so we'll put this back into the paint box here. And then next time, we'll have something else to paint. And of course, once this is done drying, it'll be complete. I have me another coffee, because I like that. So I like the Smile Bop anyway, so this makes all these noises. So this one. Sounds like a tornado to me. I think it looks orange in some ways. It's like really hard to see. I guess it looks orange, but it's actually red. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Well, it's right here. You see it twinkling too. Alright, well thank you for watching. And I hope you have a Misfit Me day. I'm just kidding. Okay. Alright, so everybody, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Again, I'm Misfit Me, and please subscribe and like my channel, and I will send you a thank you. Have a great day.